And maybe, just maybe, that'll help you at least to relieve the symptoms by helping you, blast a couple snot rockets while you're out there and come back going, I can actually breathe. Episode 927 of Diz Runs Radio is a quick tip episode, best of ish edition. Today's quick tip, running outside during allergy season. Hey guys. So on to today's quick tip, and those of you that have been around for a while, you know that the best of ish episodes, they're previous episodes where the blog post basically stays the same. And boy, back in the day, I wrote some terrible blog posts. But the blog post for today's episode basically is the same as it was back in back in April of 2016, episode 244, some almost 700 episodes ago. But the audio is a new take on the topic from back then. And I'm adding a few things, I think, to the topic from back then. But if this is a little more all over the place than usual, I apologize. But hopefully something in here helps, because I'm the first one that's going to admit that I'm not an allergist, all right? I'm not an expert when it comes to allergies. I'm not an expert in anything. You can make an argument I'm not an expert in anything I ever talk about. I'm definitely no expert in anything I'm talking about today. These are some very unofficial methods or very unofficial things that may or may not have helped me kind of work through the worst of my allergy situation. So my allergy situation is that as a kid in northern Michigan, zero allergies, zero issues with allergies ever. Now, maybe it was just because I was a kid. Maybe if I went back now, maybe I'd have some allergic issues, some congestion, some spring allergies now. But 0 to 18, never once did I have any allergy issues. Moved to Florida for college, allergy issues every year, every spring, usually every fall, some type of 2 weeks where it looked like I had pink eye. I didn't, because I had pink eye a few times in college, as you do, but it would look like it was just, the reddest eyes, all congested, feeling nasty, and then, 2 weeks later, gone. Good to go. No factor after that. And it was like clockwork. Every spring, every fall, no doubt about it. Moved to Tennessee for grad school, no allergy issues. Funny how that worked out. Moved back to Florida after grad school, allergy issues. So my assumption is that I'm allergic to something down here. Maybe it's all coincidence. My assumption is that it's not a coincidence. You be the judge on that. So, this would have been back, certainly in the early 2000s when I was down here for undergrad. Moved back after grad school in 2009, 2010. Struggling, taking all the allergy pills, yada, yada, yada. And somewhere in that time frame, somebody mentioned the idea to me of using local honey and potentially that having the impact of reducing the allergic reaction to different things that are in the air. Sounds a little woo-woo to me, if I'm honest. Still kind of sounds a little woo-woo to me. But around that time, I started taking in, using, instead of using just the generic regular honey from from the grocery store, seeking out local beekeepers, seeking out local unpasteurized raw honey. And I'll be damned, guys, my allergies didn't disappear, and it certainly wasn't an overnight thing, but kind of every allergy season, every spring, every fall, it got a little more bearable, a little less congested, a little less pink eye-ish. Felt like something was going on there. Now, if you're an allergist and you're like, dude, this is ridiculous. No. I'm sorry. Please tell me so I can correct the record. But I'm not saying that there's a connection there. I'm not saying it's a guarantee. I'm not saying that if you've got some allergies in the Northeast or the Southwest or wherever you might be, that seeking out local honey is going to be your cure-all. I'm not saying it was a cure-all for me. I'm saying it was a coincidence at least, or there was an impact. So it might be worth making the switch. Using a little bit of honey to sweeten your drinks or to sweeten your baked goods or just to, put on a peanut butter and honey sandwich because those are delicious. might be worth trying. And if you're not sure where to find local honey, localharvest.org. Localharvest.org is a great website, great resource for locally produced, all kinds of locally produced things, certainly on the food side of things. Lots of good options there. Check it out. And even if you're not looking for local honey, might check it out for local produce, find like a CSA farm, things like that. Not another good plug for Local Harvest. So maybe that might be something that would help you, if kind of as spring is approaching, you're kind of like, God, I hate spring because I can't run outside because my allergies are so bad. Not saying that's going to be the cure-all this year, but it might help dumb down the symptoms a little bit. Might be worth giving it a shot. Another thing that again, I don't know if this works. I don't know that this made any difference at all. But again, call it a coincidence, and you might not be wrong. But I'm going to say that, hey, maybe it played a part as well, is that once I really committed to running, which would have happened like 2010, 2011, something like that, when I really committed to running consistently, not just because there was a race that was coming up and I was like, hey, I might as well start training for this marathon that's 10 weeks out because, that might make sense. But when I was really like, I'm going to be a runner. I'm going to run consistently, multiple days per week, multiple miles each time I go for a run. Like, this is something that I'm going to do. And I was outside every day. Every day through the spring, every day through the fall. Maybe not every day, but you know what I mean? Every running day outside because even then, even in the early days of Diz the Runner, I was Diz the treadmill hater, okay? So, I was out there consistently putting in a half an hour here, 40 minutes there, an hour and a half there, repeat, same days every week. My theory is that perhaps I kind of built up a little bit of a tolerance, built up a little bit of familiarity with whatever tropical, citrical pollen that seems to affect me in Florida that didn't affect me in Tennessee or in Michigan, so that whenever the orange trees or whatever flowers or whatever it is that would be in bloom, whenever they were actually in bloom and it was bonkers, my allergies didn't go crazy. Sure, I might have a little bit stuffier nose, might be a little bit runnier, might be a little bit more congested, might have a hint of pink eyes, but not like everybody that looks at you takes a sideways glance and takes a wide step because they're convinced that you're a walking case of double pink eye. I think that it was just I built up a little bit of a tolerance to it, right? Kind of going back to the Dread Pirate Roberts days of The Princess Bride and iocane powder. He spent years building up a tolerance to iocane powder. Maybe I spent years building up a tolerance to citrus pollen that I don't realize, but because I've done that, the last 6, 7, 8 years, like, my allergy symptoms, they're there occasionally, but they're like, I wouldn't have been able to record podcast episodes for 2 weeks during the worst of my allergy season a decade ago. Like, it would have been a non-starter. It would have been laughable to think that I could talk for certainly even for like a little bit here and there in an interview, but to do a solo episode, to do a Q&A episode, not happening. No way. My allergies were so bad. Like, I'd be sneezing and coughing and gagging on, the snot running down the back of my throat, which I know that's kind of gross, but like, let's not kid ourselves. We've all been there when we're super congested. And these days, like, not that big of a deal. Is it a fluke? Is it a coincidence? Has it been other changes to my health and diet and things like that have helped tone things down? I don't know. Will those two suggestions work for you? I don't know. I'm not saying they will. I'm not saying they won't. And for those that really struggle with allergies, and you know who you are, I mean, I know for me at least, I was open to any possible solution. Placebo effect, some type of weird coincidence, I didn't care. If it helped, it helped. I was all in. And those are two things that I can point to that were kind of conscious choices that I made, or at least maybe looking back, kind of, reverse engineering. It was like, I started using local honey about the same time that I started running outside year-round, basically. And if you're in the frigid cold, you don't have to necessarily run year-round, but whenever you can get outside to run, get outside to run. Maybe those two combined help me reduce my allergy symptoms. I don't know. Worth a shot, in my opinion. Last thing on seasonal allergies and running. The one thing that I think that probably, hopefully, most of us can agree on, unless your allergies are so bad and you're so sensitive, in which case just going outside is just a non-starter and you got to go full Thessaly for 2 or 3 weeks when the allergy season is the worst, which of course means just running on the treadmill, nothing but. my suggestion, my recommendation, my not for nothing is to just get outside and run anyway. Unless as soon as you step outside, you just can't. Because I don't know about you, but I know about me. Anytime I'm congested, whether it's a little bit of a cold, a little bit of allergies, whatever, going for a run helps clear the old pipes. Like the snot starts loosening up a little bit, the snot rockets start flying, and even if the relief is short-lived when the run is finished, at least for 20 minutes, half an hour, maybe 2 hours, something like that, after a run, like I can breathe through my nose again, and that's a wonderful feeling. So if you do struggle with allergies this spring, or maybe allergies in the summer, allergies can come anytime. But if you have some allergy issues where you live, try the honey. Try being consistent with being outside and kind of getting that low level of exposure every day, and hope that maybe that helps to tamp things down. But just if you can, just try to run through it. And maybe, just maybe, that'll help you at least to relieve the symptoms by helping you, blast a couple snot rockets while you're out there, and come back going, I can actually breathe. Lovely thought. I don't know. Allergists, chime in. Where am I missing the mark? What am I talking out of my tuchus about more so than usual? Let me know. Or what other kind of, home remedies do you use? What helps you get through allergy season? Anything and everything allergy related, let me know at DizRuns on Twitter, at DizRuns on Instagram. You can also send an email to dizruns@gmail.com. And of course, you can always leave a comment on the website. Look at how pathetic my blog post attempts were for the quick tip episodes some 5.5 years ago by pointing your browser over to dizruns.com/927 today, dizruns.com/927, and slide on down there. It won't take you. You won't have to scroll very far. You have to scroll for like 3 paragraphs to get through the whole blog post, and that'll put you in the comment section. You can leave your thoughts and feedbacks, takeaways, and tell me what I'm wrong about. Tell me what works for you. All that stuff in the comment section at dizruns.com/927. And with that, I hope your allergy season isn't too bad. I hope that, like I said, I didn't used to know. I didn't used to be able to feel your pain. Then I definitely could feel your pain. And now I don't really feel your pain anymore. And I hope that something I said today, or something that somebody else says in the comment section or on Facebook or wherever, can help you to not feel the pain of allergies anymore. With that, we'll go ahead and wrap this one up. If you enjoyed this one, hit that share button. Otherwise, till next time, y'all, please be well. Take good care. Thanks again for listening. And we'll talk soon, all right? See you.